Hey, everybody, 10 minutes. Well, hello, everybody. Happy New Year. I see a whole bunch of you already tuning in. We got comments coming in already from all over the place. If ever we needed a Happy New Year celebration, this is the year. We all know. I don't know if you can read my balloon over here. It looks like it's turned to the side now, but it says 100% done with 2020. So everybody say, hey! So it'll be done in 2 hours, New York time. That's when we're going to celebrate the New Year's. But listen, welcome to the show. When I first started doing these living room shows about the middle of April this year, I never dreamed that we'd be doing this on New Year's Eve. So here we are. I got Sven over here. Sven has got his little New Year's hat. Isn't that cool? Yeah, Sven, those of you who didn't see the last show at Christmas, Sven has had a complete makeover. My wife made him a new beard. This is real fur. And there's a nice coat right there. He's got a new guitar right there, which looks a lot like mine. And he's pretty darn happy. And in honor of Sven, I have a little button that says UFTA. Anybody who's not Scandinavian, I didn't even know what that meant because I think it's Norwegian, where they say, oh yeah, we're up in Wisconsin there. Let's watch them Packers. Don't you know they're playing the Bears on Sunday there? They always say UFTA. And I said, well, what does that mean? And they said, well, it just means what you want it to mean, like UFTA. So UFTA for 2020. And I'm going to start with this song right over here. We're going to get things going tonight. I've done a lot of New Year's shows over the years. Way back in Chicago, I used to do them at the Ground Round. Some of you guys watching tonight used to remember those. One time I did a New Year's show at the Buffalo Grove Ground Round. And I could see all during the show on the back, there was a window and I could see it snowing sideways during the whole night. And I didn't tell anybody because I didn't want them to leave and go home. But I made up for it at the end of the night. I helped, me and a bunch of other guys helped push everybody out of the parking lot. And I was the last one to leave the parking lot at 2 o'clock in the morning with my diesel rabbit that I used to have. And you might notice this is the only time all year long at a show where I wear a suit and tie because it's New Year's and we're on vacation. Okay, well, maybe you're not on vacation. You're home for New Year's Eve. Well, let's pretend like we're all on vacation. It's New Year's Eve. Whenever I say that, scream and holler, wave your hands in the air. We're on vacation! So I always sang this song to start my New Year's shows from around 1998. It's written by Steve Goodman and John Prine. John Prine's one of the guys we lost this year. So I'm going to do a couple of their songs. And I wrote a new verse for this one at the end for 2020. Back in 1899, when everybody sang Old Lang Syne, 100 years took a long, long time for every boy and girl. Now there's only one thing I'd like to know. Where did the 20th century go? I swear it was here just a minute ago. All over this world. And now the 20th century is almost over. Almost over. Almost over. 20th century is almost over. All over this world. All over this world. All over this world. And now the 20th century is almost over. All over this world. An awful lot of us remember the millennium. Remember? Do you believe that was 20 years ago? So we're going to do a lot of songs about how time passes, but mainly my whole goal tonight is we are going to have some fun. We are going to kick 2020 into the past. So let's get started with that. I want you guys all to sing with me. The 20th century is almost over, all over this world. And then we're going to have the last verse going to be 2020 is almost over. Now the 20th century is almost over, almost over, almost over. 20th century is almost over, all over this world, all over this world, all over this world, all over this world. And now the 20th century is almost over, all over this world. I'm feeling good tonight. I hope you are too. You know, this is 2 hours later than I usually start, so I had some nerves and I needed to kind of get them worked out. So I went out on my hockey rink, which is just that way, right over there. My carport is a hockey rink, and I did a drill and hit 500 shots. So I am raring to go. Does anyone remember the Great Depression? I read all about it in True Confessions. Sorry I was late for the recording session, but somebody put me on hold. Has anybody seen my linoleum floors? Petroleum jelly or 2 world wars. They got stuck in a revolving door all over this world. Sing it with me. The 20th century is almost over, almost over, almost over. The 20th century is almost over, all over this world, all over this world, all over this world. Now the 20th century is almost over, all over this world. Winter's getting colder, summer's getting hotter. Wishing Will's wishing for another drop of water. Mother Earth's blushing 'cause somebody caught her making love to the man in the moon. Tell me how you gonna keep them down on the farm now that outer space has lost its charm. Somebody set off the burglar alarm, and not a moment too soon. Here we go. The 20th century is almost over, almost over, almost over. The 20th century is almost over, all over this world, all over this world, all over this world. Now the 20th century is almost over, all over this world. You know, Steve Goodman and John Prine were two of my heroes when I was first starting out in the folk clubs in Chicago on Lincoln Avenue. Old Father Time has got his toes a-tapping, standing in the window, rumbling and a-rapping. Everybody's waiting for something to happen. Tell me if it happens to you. Judgment Day is getting nearer. There it is in the rear view mirror. If you duck down, I could see a little clearer, all over this world. Now the 20th century is almost over, almost over, almost over. The 20th century is almost over, all over this world, all over this world, all over this world. And now the 20th century is almost over, all over this world. Okay, this afternoon, about 3 hours ago, I just wrote a new verse for this song, with apologies to Steve Goodman and John Prine. This is my take on 2020. Now we're at the end of 2020. When it comes to problems, we had plenty. It's been a gloomy and a heck of a lousy year. So many storms took away our bliss. There's lots of things that we ain't gonna miss. There's a billion butts 2020 can kiss, all over this world. Now sing this part. 2020 is almost over, almost over, almost over. 2020 is almost over, all over this world, all over this world, all over this world. Let's sing it. 2020 is almost over, all over this world. 2020 is almost over, all over this world. Here's to a better and happy whole new year. And I hope so. Happy New Year, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I see numbers are going up, comments are going crazy already. Kathy Fredericks, my friend, good friend that I knew from Put-in Bay. She's the one who always clogs when I play banjo. She's listening in Kentucky, and they're on Eastern time. So when we're done tonight at about 10 o'clock, that's going to be New Year for her. So she can be one of the first ones, although I know we got somebody in England watching. They probably are, I guess they're already in 2021. I hope it's good for you. I got a friend from Bulgaria, believe it or not, and he sent me a Happy New Year wish, so he's probably sleeping it off by now. So, and my wife is here tonight. She's sitting right over here. Of course, she's always here. You're going to get to see her at the end. She's going to come up and give me a kiss, and we got some champagne. We had a steak dinner just a little while ago. We had some champagne. I took out my Taft High School class of 1971 class. I'm not really that old. I was just skipped like eight different. Yeah, I'm still. Anyway, so this was our 35th reunion glass. I think there's still a little champagne in there. And we're trying something. I don't know if you can see this. Can you guys see this on the camera? This is a champagne bottle. Let me hold it up. So this is some Spanish champagne right over here. And we're trying something because my daughter and her husband and our little, beautiful little granddaughter, Lucia, who's 6 months old, they were here for the last week. They just left yesterday, so we're like, oh, and we've been seeing pictures of her. She's just the most incredible little girl. The coolest thing was they live in Arizona, so she saw snow for the first time yesterday. We went actually on Tuesday, we went up on the little hill by the golf course right over here by where I live. And it was the coolest thing. She went down the hill on the sled. Wasn't sure about the sled. She got this real serious look, but then she was sitting in the sled, and her dad piled a bunch of snow up like right in front of her to see what she would do. So she stuck her little mitten into the snow and went, and she was sucking it like, this is good. And then she took her head and went just like right down into the pile of snow, and put it up, and she looked like Santa Claus. She had all this white snow, but then she just kept licking it, and she kept doing it. So we sure miss them. But one of their neighbors, the Smiths, the mom, she's from France, and she said that the best way to keep champagne once it's open is to stick a spoon in there. So this is going to be a test. At 10 o'clock tonight, we're going to pour that champagne, with what's left of it, into a glass and see if there's any fizz right there. By the way, I didn't get a lot of requests during the week, so if you have any songs you really want to hear, Sally will write them down, and I'll try to get to many as we can. We got a couple of them. My friend Kathy wants to hear The Mountie and the Moose, which is a very rude song about a Canadian, but we're going to do it anyhow because it's New Year's Eve and it's late. The kids are up late. They've probably been drinking, so we're probably all right. But I did go to Taft High School in Chicago, Illinois. I know there's several of you guys watching tonight. People in classes before me, and people in classes with me, and people in classes after. That's in Norwood Park in Chicago. Some of you guys know my Norwood Park song. But the only reunion I was at was this one right here, the 35th. And after it was over, a bunch of us went out to the Village Pub in Des Plaines, Illinois, which was right down the road from the very first ever McDonald's off of Rand Road there. And they were open till 4 o'clock. So we basically drank and partied till 4 o'clock. Me and a bunch of my grammar school and high school buddies. And then we sat out in front until the sun came up telling lies, which is what you do at reunions. And then I was staying with my dad in Palatine, and I went home, and actually before I went to bed, I jotted the words down to this song. A lot of Taft people, this is kind of like their theme song. Here we go. Sitting with my buddy, sipping on tequila and beer. None of us believing we've known each other all these years. We've been telling stories about things that happened long ago. I won't say we're lying, but her noses are starting to grow. Don't it seem just a little bit strange that her past is starting to change? The grounders that we hit back then are now homewards flying over the fence. The girls we dated when we were 16, now each one's a homecoming queen. The older we get, the better we used to be. Now, if there's ever a slogan that fits a lot of people on New Year's Eve, it's that one. The older we get, the better we used to be. Sing it. The older we get, the better we used to be. They should do a study how something like this could be. How a table full of drinkers could make a change in history. Maybe it's amnesia, the kind that only happens to guys. Or maybe it's what happens when a bunch of brain cells die. Don't it seem just a little bit strange that our past is starting to change? Instead of flunking out of phys ed, we're scoring touchdowns instead. And this time at the senior prom, we won't have to go with our mom. The older we get, the better we used to be. Sing it, people. The older we get, the better we used to be. Now, I've always believed in happy endings in my songs. A lot of people know that. And plus, it's New Year's Eve and we're on vacation. Someday when we're geezers sitting in our rocking chairs, drinking Irish coffee and peeing in our underwear, we'll be finally finished changing every bit of our past. Oh, we'll be in our second childhood, and this time it's gonna be a blast. It seems just a little bit strange that our past is starting to change. The Pintos that we drove real slow are now Mustangs and GTOs. And the rock bands that had no gigs now got groupies because we made it big. The older we get, the better we used to be. The older we get, the better we used to be. So pass me some tequila, let's make a change in history. The older we get, the better we used to be, especially on New Year's Eve. Now, if this was a New Year's Eve show in a club, I was supposed to be playing the Buck Snort Saloon tonight. So all those folks that are watching, that would have been at the Buck Snort. Hi, guys. I hope you're still having fun in your living rooms. Let's have a little toast. I got to get my Grand Marnier going. This has become a tradition since that first show in April. And speaking of my daughter's neighbor down in Arizona, when we were down visiting a little while ago, she got me this bottle. So it was a nice gift bottle. So here we go. So here we go. Happy New Year, everybody. Let's hope for a much, much better 2021. We're pretty optimistic. My dad, who's in assisted living, he's watching tonight. I know. I told him to set it up for him. So, Dad, here's to you, buddy. He's going to get a vaccine on Wednesday. So, God bless him. Let's hope it works, and hopefully he can come out and be with us again. So, here's a toast to all the people that have been in, or hopefully soon going to be able to come out. So anyhow, if I was in front of a live crowd, we'd get everybody singing, and I'm just trusting that you guys are singing out there. A couple of you, like Kathy, I think she was really singing, and she's in Kentucky, and she was singing loud because I heard it kind of coming through the walls here. So I'm going to do what we call a mix and match medley. These are a bunch of songs everybody knows. I didn't write any of these. I wish I did. You know, I could have retired, but trust me, I would not have retired. So, just because this is what I like to do. So play for all you guys. So here's a bunch of songs in a row, some newer ones, some older ones, and we'll just see whatever pops into my head. So this row over here, settle down over there, people. It's people, sorry, they've been drinking too much over here at the Buck Snort. Oh, don't throw up. Jeez. Okay. It's New Year's Eve. I have to tell you another true New Year's Eve story. Well, it's sort of true. I kind of embellished it a little bit. But if you've never been to the Bucksnort Saloon, it's 100 years old. It's just this little hole-in-the-wall place. You have to take a 7-mile gravel road to get there. But a lot of famous people have been there. John Elway used to show up all the time. And Japanese TV was there one night. I'm on CNN. CNN was doing a feature on the 100 best out of the way bars in the U.S., and the Bucksnort was one of them. And happened to be a night when I was playing there, and I did my Bucksnort song, and I got my face on CNN for 3 seconds. That was pretty cool. But they played my song during the whole 1.5-minute spot. But one night I was doing a New Year's show there, and there's a guy sitting right off to my left, and there's a deer butt on the wall. It's not a deer head, it's just a deer butt. And I tell everybody that the rest of the deer's on the other side of the wall. He's still alive, and watch out when the tail goes up. So this guy had a pitcher of beer on the ledge right below the deer butt. And he kept looking over going, man, it keeps filling up. So I guess he was happy. I don't know. I also remember doing New Year's shows at Murs in Wauconda, Illinois, because we were living in Island Lake. And one year we did the banquet hall downstairs, and my kids were little, and they all had little stuffed unicorns, and they brought them to the show and did the unicorn song with me. That was really cool. And I'm pretty sure Bill and Rose Sharp are watching from Florida, and they used to own the Briar Rose, and I did quite a few New Year's shows at the Briar Rose since we got out here to Colorado. I was telling my wife about it. She would always come, and we'd have a really nice dinner. They would have lamb or pork tenderloin or wild game. We'd have some kind of really fancy dinner. And then I would do my show. And Sally said, yep, we got home at 4 a.m. So I would finish the show about 1 o'clock in the morning. Of course, you try to quit at 12, and it never happens. But I just remember one beautiful New Year's Eve, there was a full moon. And if you know anything about Breckenridge, Colorado, going to where I live, down in the foothills, you climb a hill up to the Eisenhower Tunnel. And I'll never forget it. This big honking full moon was hanging over the tunnel, and the mountains were all there, just covered in snow, and it was just beautiful. My wife was already sleeping, but I was really enjoying it. So here's a bunch of old songs. Please help me sing with these. There she was, just a walking down the street, singing do-I-diddy-did, do-diddy-do, snapping her fingers and shoving her feet, singing. She looked good, looked fine. She looked good, she looked fine, and I nearly lost my mind. Next thing I knew, she was walking next to me, singing do-I-diddy-did, do-diddy-do, holding my hand just as natural as can be, singing do-I-diddy-did, do. We walked on to my door, walked on to my door, and we kissed a little more. Oh yeah, singing do-I-diddy-diddy, dum-diddy-do, do-I-diddy-diddy, dum-diddy-do. Now, some of you know I've played in England 7 times. In fact, there's some people from England watching right now. And I would play these pubs in England, or do a couple of cabaret shows, they call them, where they have a dinner, and then I would play. And one night there was a rugby team, and this is how rugby players sing this one. Do what daddy did to mommy to get me singing. Speaking of England, I'm just mad about Saffron. Saffron's mad about me. I'm just mad about Saffron. She's just mad about me. They call me Mellow Yellow. Quite right, Slick. They call me Mellow Yellow. Hello. They call me Mellow Yellow. And here's one where everybody pounds on the tables. So pound on your laps or whatever you got. Pound on the head of the person you're sitting with. Where they stone you when you're driving in your car. They stone you when you're playing your guitar. They stone you when you're walking down the street. They stone you when you're out there on your feet. Well, I would not feel so all alone. Everybody must get stoned. Now, another thing I'm going to do tonight is make up verses once in a while about 2020. Here we go. They They stone you when you're trying to hang around. You want to do a show, but they shut down. They stone you when you don't know what to think. They say, what the heck, let's have a drink. Well, I would not feel so all alone. Everybody must get stoned. Now I'm going to throw in a couple of maybe short versions of songs from people we lost this year. We already sang a John Prine song. We also lost Kenny Rogers this year, and I thought, let's do this. We can all sing it together. I got the black cowboy hat. Actually, it's a fedora, but we'll call it a cowboy hat. Oh, I see my friend Ray Martinez, one of my hockey buddies, one of my really good hockey buddies. Wants to hear a couple of hockey tunes. I'll do a few of those. On a warm summer's evening, train bound for nowhere, met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we took turns of staring out the window at the darkness till boredom overtook us and he began to speak. He said, son, I made a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. If you don't mind my saying, I see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice. You got to know when to hold, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money while you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. When he finished speaking, he turned back toward the window, crushed out his cigarette, faded off to sleep. Somewhere in the darkness, the gambler, he broke even, but with his final words, I found an ace that I could keep. You got to know when to hold, know when to fold, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money while you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Help me sing it. That's a good thing. When we lose somebody, their songs go on and on. You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money while you're sitting at the table. There'll be time enough for counting when the dealing's done. Some old songs. We're going to do some newer ones too. Oh, we got some requests coming in. Beer Gut Guys. That's got to be from Kathy, my friend Kathy. Yeah, that was a Faust and Lewis song, but I might be able to do a little bit of it. We wrote a song about Beer Gut Guys. By the way, holy smokes, I just realized I have a song called Hairy Guys. And I might have to tell my wife how to print that up for me because, I got the Bald Guy song. But I also wrote a song that I've hardly ever done called Hairy Guys. And I'm going to see. Sally, would you do me a big favor? Would you go? Oh, this is my laptop right here. Never mind. I'll figure it out. I might bring it out. We'll see. And somebody wants to hear a couple little boys, this old piano, and hockey songs. So people want some sentimental stuff. We're going to do some of that tonight as well. All right. So here's a song for my friend Ray. This is a hockey song for all the rec league players. And surprisingly enough, it's really a romantic song because, well, Rec's got a beautiful woman, and he likes to sing to her when he comes home from games. I'm going to put some more echo on this and everything because this is going to be, I'm thinking it's New Year's Eve. Rick's probably with that woman right there, and she's probably snuggling up to him. And I'm singing this song for you too. If you want to start making out, go ahead. We're not Zoom calling, so nobody will know. Honey, does my gear all stink? Is that really what you think? I opened up my bag, you began to gag. Honey, does my gear all stink? Yeah, I can hear him kissing right now. Honey, does my big bag smell? Is that why you're not feeling so well? I unpacked my cup and it made you throw up. Honey, does my big bag smell? After a game, it's always the same, and I don't think it's really cute. You stop me at my car, say please stay where you are, and you're wearing a biohazard suit. Honey, does my gear all stink? Is that why our love life's on the blink? If I let you hose me down, will you stick around? 'Cause maybe then my gear won't stink. My gear won't stink. Man. Oh, good. Ray says, I love it. So does Liz. Yeah, they're gonna be making out tonight. I'm sure. It's New Year's Eve. You know, you should do it. My trick, Ray. If that song probably was not that romantic for you. Like there's another one on that same album that goes, "Where's my teeth, boys? Where's my teeth? 'Cause I am going to the bar. Pearly whites can make for lucky nights, but not when you leave them in the car." Kind of goes on from there, but you know that's not that romantic. So just do this, Ray. Give her lots of booze, okay? Because I've noticed with my wife, if she has a few extra drinks, then I'm Brad Pitt, okay? And it doesn't happen often. It takes a lot of drinks, but it's New Year's Eve, so there's time. So what does that say? Okay, it's a making out song. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to do this song for my friend Kathy, just to make sure I get to it, because I got a lot of things that we're going to do later as we approach the new year, and I got to make sure that we get to some of these things early. So this is a song called "The Mountie and the Moose." I wrote this with my former singing partner Rusty Lewis, who's happily retired now up in Oregon, and he goes to New Zealand in the winter and kind of hangs out. So he's living a good life. Doesn't sing anymore, but we wrote a lot of good songs together, and we wanted to do this for Canadians. And it's a little rude, but let's just do it. It's New Year's Eve. I don't even remember what key I do it in, because I don't usually do it. Out in far Alberta, in the Canadian West, the lonely Mountie rode his horse and tears fell down his chest. He hadn't seen a woman since Christmas before last. Something turned his head around as he went riding past. 6 foot at her shoulders, she went to get a drink. The Mountie looked her over and she began to think. His heart began to flutter, his love began to swell. At first he tried to fight it, but then said, "What the hell?" The Mountie and the Moose, the Mountie and the Moose. They all think he's crazy, they all think she's loose. The Mountie and the Moose, the Mountie and the Moose. It's so weird at parties when they are introduced. Sometimes I play these songs and go, did I really have a hand in writing this thing? Some folks, some Mounties like sheeps and goats, some Mounties like pigs, but this Mountie, most Mounties don't like a moose, 'cause they're just too big. But this Mountie was faithful, his love it didn't fail. He met her every afternoon and he named her Abigail. The Mountie and the Moose, hey, hey, the Mountie and the Moose. It's so weird at parties when they are introduced. He took her home to Calgary to meet his mom and dad. And if the neighbors pointed, oh, that was just too bad. Mom said, well, she's quiet, but she seems real nice. I'll give her a wedding shower and motherly advice. The Mountie and the Moose, the Mountie and the Moose. It's so weird at parties when they are introduced. Then one day a bull moose came with antlers 3 feet high. Abigail ran off with her, it made the Mountie cry. He searched and searched and searched for her, summer and through fall. Then he finally found her, now her head's up on the wall. The Mountie and the moose, the Mountie and the moose. They all think he's crazy, they all think she's loose. The Mountie and the moose, the Mountie and the moose. A great Canadian story of moosehead and abuse. There we go, the Mountie and the Moose. I bet you haven't sang that song in 20 years, 15 anyways. I used to do it all the time at Put-in-Bay, Ohio. So let me change guitars. We're going to get Sven out here because he's wondering when he's going to get to be the part of the show. This is my partner Sven. Those of you who don't know him, he's kind of a Swedish guy there, don't you know? Oh yeah, I got a couple of Swedish yokes for you as I'm kind of changing over. There was a bunch of hunters up there in Wisconsin there. Yeah, they were out hunting, and well, there was an accident, and Ole shot himself in the head, and he died. You know, so, that doesn't sound like a joke, but it happened. It doesn't sound like a joke, but it actually happened. So Ole shot himself in the head, and the other guys, you know, Sven and Lars and all the other ones. So what are we going to do there? Well, let's just load him up in the pickup truck and take him home to his wife Lena. So they loaded Ole up into the pickup truck, and they had to try to fight over who was going to have to tell his wife what happened to him. And so finally they decided on Sven. And so Sven said, okay, I'll do it. So he comes up to the door, and of course his last name was Janssen, just because, you know, that's what a lot of those guys have that name. In fact, my mom's name was Janssen. She was a Janssen. So anyhow, so he comes up to the door, and Ole's wife answers the door, and he said, and Sven goes, oh, hello there. Are you the widow Janssen? And she says, I'm not a widow. He said, well, you haven't seen what I got in the back of my truck. I'm hearing a buzz. Do you guys hear the buzz? I found the buzz. We're going to have to fix that before I do this song. Yeah, I looked over and said, my wife's never heard that joke, and I looked to see if she laughed. She smiled a little bit. Okay, let's see if we can get this thing going here. We got a bad chord here. Might have to have Sally go get a chord. So this is a song, this is one of the first songs I ever wrote. Sven's going to play guitar and bass, and the harmony channel is the one that's buzzing, so I'm not sure we're going to hear any harmony in this one or not, but I thought on New Year's Eve it'd be kind of nice to do a song about growing up, because New Year's Eve is one of the times when we kind of think about other years. This is about me growing up in Chicago, one of the first songs I ever wrote, and I'm still doing this one. Summer vacation, come on and play in my yard. Try a new game, we can learn how to play. Try it, it isn't too hard. Building a house in the old oak tree, making a castle of sticks. Watching the rain on a lazy Sunday, remembering when I was 6. See if Sven kicks in now. Hitting the homer, running the bases, put on my catcher's mitt. Playing the mud pies, rolling the sand, mommy is having a fit. Feeling kind of funny down in my stomach because of all the candy I ate. Watching the snow fall late in December, remembering when I was 8. Why do the ladies always go first? Why can't I eat with my hands? How did I get here? What makes a baby? When do I know I'm a man? How old is mommy? How old is daddy? Why is my grandma so kind? Watching the children out in the playground, remembering when I was 9. I used to pretend that I was a star, just like on TV. I'd run through the park with the wind at my back, happy-go-lucky and free. You be the sheriff riding your horse, and I'll be Billy the Kid. Out on the front porch, sitting and thinking, remembering things that I did. Out on the front porch, sitting and thinking, remembering things that I did. Look at that, Sven. He stopped the buzz. Sven had a buzz going, and it actually stopped. So good deal. All right. Well, here's a little toast about growing up. We all did it, and we all try to remember on New Year's Eve. I remember a lot of years before I was old enough to go to parties and stuff. We used to, in Chicago, where I used to live, we would go out in the street and hit hockey pucks back and forth, because in those days the streets would ice over for about 3 months and didn't have an ice rink like I do now. Go out there and hit the puck around. So. Oh, somebody, Dave Carabata from Chicago. Yeah, he's one of my buds, and he says wishing us a happy New Year. Cool. I got to try to stop looking at these because I get distracted. But and I'm not sure I'm able to answer these on YouTube Live. I used to be able to answer them on Facebook. But anyways, I will look at them all when I'm done. We got a lot of nice. By the way, that Christmas show we did about 9-10 days ago, it was on the 19th. I just want to thank everybody. People were just incredibly generous. It was just an amazing Christmas present to me. And a lot of people said it was really a lot of fun singing those Christmas songs out in the other room, right back here behind us. So thanks for tuning in on that one. That was probably one of the most fun I had at all these. So let's do a couple more songs, a bunch of songs everybody knows. When I play in Missouri all summer, this is the one everybody asks for about 3 times a night. I've had more drunk 20-somethings come up and sing this one with me. And one of my claim to fames, the winner before last, the winner that the American women's hockey team, the USA team, won the gold medal. I did a show up in Telluride for Jaguar of North America. And their special guest of honor, besides me, was Megan Duggan, who was the I think she was the captain of the ladies USA hockey team. But she came up and sang this with me. I got a video of it. Heading out south to the land of the pines, coming my way down to North Carolina, staring at the road, pray to God I see headlights. Made it down the coast in 17 hours. It could be a bouquet of dogwood flowers. Hoping for a ride, we're gonna see my baby tonight. If you know it, help me sing it. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Yeah. Mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like a wind in a rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Running from the cold up in New England, born to be a fiddler in an old-time string band. Baby plays the guitar, I pick the banjo now. These North Country women are getting me now. My money playing poker, never leave town. Ain't going back to live that old life no more. Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way feel. Yeah. Mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like a wind and rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Yeah. Mama, rock me. Now watch this. This is a really old song. But the crazy thing about this song, it was a hit for about 10 minutes back in the 60s. And they don't play it on the oldies stations because this is a novelty song. And then, you know, these golden oldie stations don't play this one. But for some reason, everybody over the age of maybe 25 still knows this one. Hello, mother. Hello, father. Here I am at. I'm guessing there was probably 2/3 of the people went, Camp Granada. Camp is very entertaining. And they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining. I went hiking with Joe Spivey. He developed poison ivy. You remember Leonard Skinner? He got ptomaine poisoning last night after dinner. Everybody, take me home. Don't want to flood it. Take me home. I hate Granada. Don't leave me out in the forest where I might get eaten by a bear. Take me home. I promise I will not make noise or mess the house with other boys. Oh, please don't make me stay. I've been here one whole day. Darling Fada, dearest Mata, how's my precious little brother? Let me come home if you miss me. I would even let Aunt Bertha hug and kiss me. Wait a minute, it stopped hailing. Guys are swimming, guys are sailing, playing baseball. Gee, that's better. Mata Fada, kindly disregard this letter. All right, now I'm going to actually solicit comments. If anybody can tell me who did that record without looking it up on your phone. Tell me who did that one. I will be very impressed because I do this in shows and nobody ever gets it. Sky of Cubby Blue. Cockroaches. I actually have that on my list for tonight. We're going to do the cockroach song. We'll try to get the Sky of Cubby Blue. It's kind of a sad one, but we'll do a few sad songs tonight too. Just because we even got the Jerry Williams song, which is really, really sad. And I'll tell you why later on, because he's having a tough time right now. And I know they're watching up in Maine. So what do we got on the screen right now? What does that say? What is it? Oh, who said it? Oh, Jack Went. Jack Went, you are the winner. Jack, if you send me an email, picklehead@picklehead.com. I mean, I know I've got Jack's email already because we've been, corresponding back and forth. You send me an email and I will send you a couple downloads of songs that I'm pretty sure you don't have. I got some kind of rare things. Alan Sherman was the guy. Yeah, he had an album called My Son the Nut. And it was a picture of Alan Sherman with a bunch of like pecans and stuff in the background. So, but that was the stuff I cut my teeth on, was all those goofy songs. Like most of my friends were listening to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. I was listening to Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini. And They're Coming to Take Me Away, Aha Ho, by Napoleon IV. And Sheb Wooley's Flying One-Eyed, One-Horned, Flying Purple People Eater. I can't talk. Purple People Eater. And there was a guy that used to play that kind of stuff. He's still around. In fact, I'm on his podcast and his website, Dr. Demento. And that was kind of in my formative years. And then when I first started singing, I got a lot of those funny songs to do in my show. Dr. Demento used to be on Sunday night from midnight to 2 in the morning. Maybe you guys can help me from Chicago. I'm not sure what station he was on. One of the FM ones, I think. But he was one of my heroes. So one of my first songs on national radio was the Blind Date song. Back in the late 70s, I sent a cassette of it to Dr. Demento. He actually called my house. I didn't believe it was really him. I thought it was a friend playing a joke on me. But this is another one of the songs that Dr. Demento played of mine. And in fact, a couple of these made the Funny Five, Save the Beer and Bald Guys. Those were two songs that he played a lot. But he played this one several times as well. And I'm going to do some of the songs that I've written about at different places that I've traveled. This one's about Mackinac Island, because I spent a couple summers playing up there at Mission Point Resort. And if you've never been to Mackinac Island, we got some people from overseas and some other places that haven't been up there. It's an island up on in between the Upper Peninsula and the Lower Peninsula of Michigan. And their claim to fame is they don't allow any cars except for a police car and a fire engine. So you get off the ferry boat and there's everybody riding around on horse and buggies and bicycles. In fact, my wife spent one of her milestone birthdays up there with me this summer. I played up there. I won't say which milestone it was, but we went to the Grand Hotel, and she has this beautiful purple cape, and she wore it. We took a carriage ride over to the Grand Hotel from where I was staying at Mission Point. Had a lovely dinner and danced all night, so it was really cool. But the other thing that Mackinac is famous for is fudge. And every place you go in Mackinac Island, you know, every store you go, they got Mackinac Island fudge and all the different flavors. They send it around the world. In fact, they call the tourists fudgies because they all buy fudge and eat fudge, look at fudge. So every morning, I was there for 9 weeks one summer. Every morning I leave my condo and ride my bicycle all around the island. It's about 9 miles. Beautiful bike rides. You had Lake Huron on one side, Lake Michigan on the other. And about halfway around one morning, I got the chorus to this song. It just kind of came to me in my head. And it's on one of my albums. I think the album is Songs for the Road, with all the different places that I played. But I'm going to apologize ahead of time because I'm going to do a lot of songs tonight, but this is the one you're going to wake up singing. Fudge, fudge, everywhere fudge. Mackinac Island's got a whole lot of fudge. They eat it in the morning, noon, and night. It makes your pants get tight. There's a little bitty island called Mackinac, prettiest place that you ever saw. They got no car, so you gotta ride a bike. If your legs are strong, you can take a hike. But a horse and buggy's what tourists like. They all pig out on fudge. Fudge, fudge, everywhere fudge. Mackinac Island's got a whole lot of fudge. They eat it in the morning, noon, and night. It makes your pants get tight. Now, it's kind of hard to make this a sing-along because there's like way too many words. When I do this at Geneva Glen Camp in the summers here in Colorado, all the kids know all the words to this one. Now, what's the deal with the fudge, you say? It started back in the trapper's day. Winters were cold, snows got high, food ran out, and they thought they'd die, but they nibbled on fudge, and it got them by. That's why they still like fudge. Fudge, fudge, everywhere fudge. Mackinac Island's got a whole lot of fudge. They eat it in the morning, noon, and night. It makes your pants get tight. Big old horses clomp around, pulling them carriages around the town. The horse eats a lot in the course of a day. An island can't grow that much hay. When it runs out, that's okay to feed them all some fudge. Everybody, fudge, fudge, everywhere fudge. Mackinac Island's got a whole lot of fudge. They eat it in the morning, noon, and night. It makes your pants get tight. Now, when you're on an island for the whole summer, you know, I usually keep my ear to the ground and kind of pick up some on the local secrets. And I found a doozy. All day long, those horses go poop. A guy comes along with a great big scoop, mixes cream and butter that he gets at the docks, stirs it all up in great big crocks, sells it to tourists in a little pink box. That's where they got that fudge. Fudge, fudge, everywhere fudge. Mackinac Island's got a whole lot of fudge. They eat it in the morning, noon, and night. It makes your pants get tight. One more. Fudge, fudge, everywhere fudge. Mackinac Island's got a whole lot of fudge. The bigger the horse, the bigger the bite. Let's have some fudge tonight. How's your dinner? Oh yes, let's think about that fudge. Another little update on the Lena and Ole story. You know, Ole died. He shot himself in the head accidentally, and of course he was out in the truck. And then of course Lena said, you know, she's not a widow. It turns out she was. So then she took Ole to the funeral home, and the undertaker said, "Oh, what do you want to say with the announcement in the paper?" And she said, "Ole died." And he said, "Ole died?" He said, "You got to say more than that. I mean, he's your husband. How long were you married?" "Oh, 47 years. And what do you really just want to say?" "Well, that's what happened. Ole died." He said, well, you got to think of something else. So the next day in the paper, it said, Oli died, boat for sale. My wife's smiling at that one. Good. So I've had the great blessing to play on a lot of islands. Of course, I played in Key West. Rusty and I played in Key West, and I went down there by myself, did some shows. Key West, Florida, the southernmost point. That was an interesting time down there. We had a great time. For about 20 years, we played at Sloppy Joe's. It was a great place. We would do Sloppy Joe's between 5 and 9, and then in the middle of that was the Sunset. And everybody in Key West goes to Mallory Square for the Sunset. They got train cats and jugglers and all kinds of things. And then when we take a break for about 45 minutes, and we look at Duval Street, and it was like the Normandy invasion. Everybody's coming back, and they all come into Sloppy Joe's. We always had a great time. Then, of course, Put-in Bay, Ohio was a huge one. If you don't know anything about Put-in Bay, it's an island up on Lake Erie. And I do have to say, I've been a lot of places where people drink, but especially when it comes to beer, that was the peak right there. They had the world's longest bar. They still do. It's the Beer Barrel Saloon. 173 bar taps, and on Saturday nights, every one of them suckers would be going full blast. And one time I went downstairs and below the bars, and there was these like kegs just stacked floor to ceiling, and they just kept tapping them different ones. And they had it set up so we just go to the next keg. So there's a lot of Put-in Bay songs, including Save the Beer, but this is another one that I haven't played nearly as much. By the way, we should all have a toast for this one since we're talking about drinking. I don't have beer, but I got Grand Marnier. Here we go. Happy New Year, everybody. We're on vacation. I can hear you cheering. I can hear you cheering. See your hands in the air. There's an island called Manhattan where skyscrapers are stacked. We bought it from the Indians, and they can have it back. There's an island on the west coast. It's called Alcatraz. An old prison and a bunch of rocks is all that island has. But up here in Ohio, we got one thing to say. Forget them other islands, 'cause we got Put-in Bay. Little island on a great big lake. We're chugging 6-packs, that's a piece of cake. All the breweries send more trucks here, 'cause no other island can drink more beer. Puerto Rico is an island, and it's a commonwealth, but mold and rotten jungle snakes, they ain't good for your health. Australia is an island, a huge one I suppose. That's where they sent the convicts when Alcatraz was closed. But up here on Lake Erie, folks will shake your hand, they'll stand up for each other when they still can stand. Little island on a great big lake. We're chugging 12 packs, it's a piece of cake. Call the breweries, send more trucks here. No other island can drink more beer. Now, those of you who know me know I actually have a history degree from Carthage College in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And I know a lot about history, so here's a little Put-in Bay history. Well, about 100 years ago, Lake Erie all ran dry. Scientists from around the world gathered to find out why. They walked on out to Put-in Bay to figure what went wrong. Someone ordered up some beer and they started singing songs. After 40 days of drinking and an endless stream of pee, the lake began to fill back up, and the rest is history. Little island on a great big lake. We're chugging cases, that's a piece of cake. All the breweries send more trucks here. No other island can drink more beer. 'Cause Put-in Bay is drinking all the beer. Little island on a great big lake. And one quick Key West song. We'll do just a little bit. If you're doing Key West, you got to do Jimmy Buffett. Actually, we like to say Jimmy Buffet because this is kind of a classy living room right over here. We got Grand Marnier. So Jimmy Buffet. He's got a brother named Daily Buffet who plays all the Holiday Inns. You've probably seen him. Wee wee in the toilet and sing Jimmy Buffet as you go in the toilet to go wee wee. I am just like an international linguist kind of guy. When we do this in Key West, people would get up and do a conga line, and this carried over into Colorado. Rusty and I have a famous story. We used to play opera ski at Copper Mountain, and they put it in the big cafeteria, so it was about 350 people, and they had these chrysanthemums in like, on top of the garbage can things, and they were all over this big room. And we did this song, and people decided in ski boots, 9,000 feet, to do a conga line. And so here's all these people conga line with the chrysanthemum pots on their head and everything. And so the next day we came in for the show, and the staff said, "Did you guys know what happened to the chrysanthemums?" No, I don't know. We just went home. And that was to this song right here. So you are free to do a conga line. It's New Year's Eve. You're in your living room. Go ahead and get up off the couch. Now, my friends Ray and Liz say they're not going to do a conga line because they're making out. But I don't know where am I gonna go when the volcano blows. Sing it like that. I don't know where am I gonna go when the volcano blows. Around she's moving under me. Tidal waves out on the sea. Sulfur smoke up in the sky. Pretty soon we're gonna learn to fly. Everybody sing, I don't know where am I gonna go when the volcano blows. Ooh, ooh, ah, 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 ah. No time to count what time worth. I just left the planet Earth. Where I go, I hope there's an not to worry, monsoon come. Everybody sing, I don't know where am I gonna go when the volcano blows. Sing it over, I don't know where am I gonna go when the volcano blows. Don't wanna land in New York City, don't wanna land in Mexico, don't wanna land in 3 Mile Island, don't wanna see my skin aglow. Don't wanna land in San Diego, don't wanna land in Buzzards Bay, don't wanna land in 2020. I got nothing more to say. Everybody sing, I don't know where am I gonna go in the volcano. My friend Dave from Chicago just says, I don't know nothing. I don't know where am I gonna go in the volcano blows. Just realized why I don't usually wear a tie. It keeps getting caught in the front of my guitar. I want you guys to do me a favor because my dad is watching, and he's over there in assisted living, and we were just hoping we did get to see him on Christmas Eve. We were outside his window Christmas Day, and we had all the grandkids and the great grandkids. We were exchanging gifts and everything through his window. We took the screen off. Don't tell anybody I said that, but we did. Like I said, he's supposed to get the vaccine next Wednesday, so we are keeping our fingers crossed that it works. But most of you have seen him come up to sing with me. There's a song I wrote called I'm an Old Song, And at the end of it, he sings "You Are My Sunshine" while I sing the rest of it. So let's all sing "You Are My Sunshine" together. And I want you to sing really loud because I know my dad's watching. And I bet you he feels you and he hears you too, I bet. Jimmy Davis, the governor of Louisiana, wrote this song, I think in the 40s, maybe the 50s. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. This is like old home night for me. My friend Inga from Chicago says, "You are my sunshine." Inga's one of my favorite people. Her real name is Inga. The other night, dear, as I lay sleeping, I dreamed I held you in my arms. When I awoke, dear, I was mistaken, and my heart on my head, and I cried. Here we go. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Let's do a made-up verse for my dad. I think of things as I go along here. This is for my dad, George Faust, and he's hanging out here today. And we're gonna see him pretty soon when 2020 goes away. Everybody, yeah! You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away. Please don't take my sunshine away. All right, that's for my dad. I know you guys were all singing out there. I saw the comments coming in. Let me do one thing for my dad. During the Christmas show, a lot of you heard the Bells Ring song. That video has done really well, by the way. We've got about 14,000 views, which I'm really proud of. It's only been out for about 3 weeks. So thank you for that. If you want to watch a video with my dad and my song, The Bells Rang, just go to YouTube and search for Wayne Faust, The Bells Rang, and share it with everybody, even though it's after Christmas. I think it's probably still getting some views. But when my dad turned 80, or maybe it was 75, I'm not sure which it was, but it was a long time ago, because by those of you who don't know my dad, he's going to be 95 this January, just a few weeks. And he's just doing great. He's doing good. He's a little discouraged sometimes when he has to be inside during all of this, but he's hanging in there out there. He's always had a great attitude. But anyhow, when he turned 80, we had a big party for him. I flew in as a surprise from Chicago. My brother's from Iowa. He came in, and we had about 100 people. And I wrote a poem for him, and I printed it up for him. So every time I would come visit him in Palatine when he was living there, I would see that on his desk. And then I thought, well, someday I'm going to record that thing. And then I did. Hold on a minute. Let me get this going here. There we go. So, and then I put it on an album. And then I did a video on, there's a video of this also on YouTube. It's called My Father's Not the President. So I want to do this for my dad. Happy New Year, Dad. Hopefully we can see you tomorrow, maybe through the window. I got his picture right here. My father's not the president. He's not the head of state. I don't suppose the history books will rank him with the great. He didn't scramble to the top or win a test of might. He chose instead to spend his years coming home at night. My father's not the president. He never gave a speech, but he used to bend his neck down low so my small arms could reach. And when I would look up at him, he seemed to stand so tall. Now many years have come and gone. That's not changed at all. My father's not the president. He's not a famous man. But when I struck out in the ninth, he took me by the hand. And many times I've struck out since. Perhaps I always will. But when I do, he's got a shoulder that I can lean on still. I dreamed I stood upon a hill, high above the street, and thousands of important men gathered at my feet. Famous faces, millionaires, great men, every one. Voice told me to pick one out. I could be his son. Each of them filled up my ears with self-important talk. Still I spied a man in the back, shoveling someone's walk. He wasn't trying very hard to make himself a star. He simply went about his work, fixed a neighbor's car. He gave the shirt right off his back to someone that was near. And it was then I made my choice, and all the others disappeared. My father's not the president, but still it's plain to see. When everything is said and done, that's the guy that someday maybe I can grow up to be. That's for my dad. Well, we got one more sentimental song here. There's another guy I'm really fond of. His name is Jerry Williams. And he's actually having a bad time right now. He used to be my head negotiator with Facebook. And you guys know what happened with my Christmas show. They blocked me like 10 minutes before I went on the air on that Friday, and we had to reschedule on Saturday. So I'm really grateful to YouTube for doing that. But unfortunately, well, because Facebook evidently blocked me because of Jerry Williams' his rude manner. I don't know what it was, because he's been my kind of my representative for like a really long time. But anyways, they booted me, so he lost his job. So he's unemployed right now, and he's not doing too good. So I'd like to do a tribute to him. This is the Jerry Williams story. He's up in Maine, and if you haven't heard this before, you better get a Kleenex, because this is pretty sad. I don't know about sad, it's emotional. This is him right here. In a little bar in Michigan, south of Mackinac, I stumbled in out of the cold and I ordered me a draw. All those weary miles were showing on my face as I warmed my hands and looked around that rustic little place. Over in the corner, a man sat in a chair. People gathered round him. He was preaching over there. I asked the barmaid who he was, and then I saw her smile. She said, "That's Jerry Williams. Just listen for a while." And he said, sounded like that to me. Maybe scratch my head. Jerry Williams said. Well, is this some kind of joke, I asked, 'cause I don't think I heard. People sat there mesmerized, I couldn't understand a word. Then the barmaid brought to me another glass of brew. She said, if you just keep drinking, he'll start making sense to you. And he said, sounded like that to me. Made me scratch my head. Jerry Williams said. Well, I've been all around the country in my spunky little car, but I ain't never seen nothing like that night in that funky little bar. Must have drank a case of Pabst till I was feeling good. Suddenly his words were clear. At last I understood. Socrates and Plato had nothing on that guy. I can't tell you exactly what he said, but maybe I can try. I think he said this. He said, he was getting through to me. Words rang in my head. Jerry Williams said. Oh, he said so much more. I can never write it down, but yeah, this is some of the things he said right here. Wash your hands.
Get to what you do. What you get it done.
You say it, Jerry. A lot of you guys are singing along with him right now. Yeah. It's New Year's Eve.
Jeez. Quit it.
Quit it. All right. Well, there we go. That's the Jerry Williams song. Well, that's enough sentimentality. I think it's time to play some banjo. What do you guys think? We're going to do some happy party banjo songs. My wife's got some more requests. Hold on a minute. A couple people want to hear Simon and Garfunkel, and somebody said the bells rang. We'll have to try to get that one in. That was the Christmas show one, but we'll see what we can do. We got to kind of easing up into we only got 45 minutes for Happy New Year. So let's get things really going right around here. Get banjo. Time always goes by so fast on these shows that I do for you guys from my living room. It's because tonight. And my friend Kathy from Kentucky, she likes to clog. So we're going to do a couple of clogging worthy songs. Yeehaw. Haven't told any state jokes yet. You know what you call a McDonald's surrounded by tractors in Iowa? Prom night. How many Ohio State football players does it take to screw in a light bulb? Only one, but he gets 3 hours of credit for it. Should be going. Wait a minute. Did we change channels on this thing here? Wait a minute. Talk among yourselves for a second. No. I think I changed channels. Come on, baby. There is a low. I'm trying to get we're going to just grab a cord here and just change this out. These are wireless pickups, but sometimes they don't work. So we're going to do a song called Cripple Creek. This one's all about Colorado. Speaking of state jokes, Colorado is the only state where a guy goes by with a $5,000 mountain bike on top of a $200 car. It makes sense to us. All right, so this one's called Cripple Creek. Somebody say yeehaw. Trying to do a few banjo songs I haven't done for a while here. Here we go. I got a gal at the head of the creek. I go to see about middle of the week. Some monster sweet as wine, rough summer on like sick day divine. Going up the creek, going on run, going up the creek, got a little fun. Going up the creek, going in the world, going up the creek, see my girl. Girls in the Cripple Creek, I'd have thrown, jump out of boy like a dog on a bone. Roll my britches up to my knees, I wake up creek when I please. Going up Cripple Creek, going on run, going up Cripple Creek, have a little fun. Going up Cripple Creek, going in the world, going up Cripple Creek, see my girl. Everybody say yeehaw! He's wide and Cripple deep. I wake up creek before I sleep. Roads are rocky, the hillside's muddy. I'm so drunk that I can't study. Going up Cripple Creek, going on run. Going up Cripple Creek, have a little fun. Going up Cripple Creek, going in the world. Going up Cripple Creek, see my girl. All right, get ready to clap your hands out there. Going up Cripple Creek, going on run. Going up Cripple Creek, have a little fun. Going up Cripple Creek, going in the world. Going up Cripple Creek, see my girl. Cripple Creek. All right, here's a song that every American over the age of 25 knows. If you don't know this one, you're probably Al Qaeda. Of course, I'm talking about the theme song to the Beverly Hillbillies. Now, I don't want to, intimidate you, but because this is an American song that all good red-blooded Americans know, I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, whatever you are, if you don't sing on this one, there's going to be a black helicopter coming to your house. I'm just telling you. Here we go. Listen to my story about a man named Jed. Poor mountaineer, barely kept the family fed. Then one day he was shooting at some food. Up from the ground come a bubbling crude. Oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, Jed's a millionaire. Ken folks said, Jed, move away from there. Said California is a place you ought to be. They loaded up the truck and moved up Beverly Hills, that is, swimming pools, movie stars. And you guys probably all know that I went through puberty watching Ellie Mae Clampett. Took 9 minutes. But 2 years ago, this show came on, and Granny was looking pretty good. Da-da-da-dum, ba-da-da-dum, 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 ba-da-da-dum. Well, they're crazy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky, altogether hooky, the Addams family. Da-da-da-dum, neat, ba-da-da-dum, sweet, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-dum. Petite. Well, now it's time to say goodbye to Jed and all his kin. We would like to thank you folks kind of dropping in. Y'all invited back to sweetness, sentimentality. Haven't you been helping other hospitality? Y'all come back now, yeah? All right, well, we got about, let's see, what time is it? We got about 35 minutes to the end of 2020. Hooray! So we are getting ready for that. My wife's got some champagne she's going to pour up for me when the time comes. I hope you guys got something. If you got champagne, that's best of all. We'll all have a toast at midnight, which is midnight Eastern time. But we'll do it from here. Now, I want you to pretend that we're all together in a bar, like the Buck Snort or the Ground Round or someplace, Sloppy Joe's or Puddin' Babe. And we're all sitting around having a good time on New Year's Eve because we're on vacation. And I want you guys to sing this one to me. This is Billy Joel's Piano Man song, only it's about the banjo. I came up with the banjo version, and Sven's going to play the guitar. Here we go. It's 9 o'clock on New Year's Eve, almost. A regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, son, can you play me a memory? Not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet. I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. Sing this part. La da da dee dee da. Rock back and forth. La da da dee dee da da da. Sing us a song, you're the banjo man. Sing us a song, you're the banjo man. Sing us a song tonight. For we're all in the mood for a melody. You got us feeling alright. Now John at the bar is a friend of mine. Gets me my drinks for free. He's quick with a joke. He'll light up your smoke someplace that he'd rather be. He said, wait, I believe this is killing me. The smile ran away from his face. I'm sure that I could be a movie star if I could get out of this place. Oh, la da da dee dee da, la da da dee da da da. Paul is a real estate novelist. Never had time for a wife. He's talking to Davy, who's still in the Navy. Probably will be for life. He's practicing politics. The businessmen slowly get stoned. They're sharing a drink they call loneliness. It's better than drinking alone. Everybody, la da da dee da, la da da dee dee da. I can hear you out there. Sing us a song, you're the banjo man. Sing us a song tonight. We're all in the mood for a melody. You got us feeling alright. Well, I can see it's a pretty good crowd for a New Year's Eve. And you might call me a nut. But I'm playing guitar and I'm a banjo star, and we're gonna kick 2020's butt. Banjo sounds like a carnival. Microphone smells like a beer. Sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La da da dee dee da da da. Sing us a song, you're the banjo man. Sing us a song tonight. We're all in the mood for a melody. You got us feeling alright. You got us feeling alright. I hope you guys feel alright out there. All right. I know you were singing along with me out there and rocking back and forth. Okay. By the way, these blue lights blinking are driving me crazy with these little things. Turn that off. We're trying to pick up the pace here a little bit because we only got a half hour to go, and I got a lot of stuff to get to. So let's do a couple more banjo songs. This one's called Foggy Mountain Breakdown. This is one of the great banjo instrumentals. Kind of ranks up there with dueling banjos. And this one I always did in Breckenridge during my opera ski shows. And I would have clogging contests. Give away drinks to the best cloggers. I know we got some cloggers out there, including my friend Kathy from Kentucky. So if you want to get up and clog, I won't know if you're good, but just do it anyways. We would have people clogging ski boots at 9,000 feet, and they were really good for like a verse and a half, and then they'd soak. This one's got a great clogging beat. Foggy Mountain Breakdown. And Sven, let's have a nice hand for Sven. He doesn't look like he's partying that much, but you can't tell if he's smiling or not just because he's got that beard. Got the hat, though. So here we go. Foggy Mountain Breakdown. Holy smokes. At no time did his fingers leave his hands. Okay, well, listen, we gotta get to this last half hour here before the big Happy New Year. So we're gonna do our improv like we always like to do. But while we're doing that, let me get my guitar out. While you guys are thinking about this, what I want is subjects, anything that has to do with 2020. Funny things preferably. And if you come up with it, usually I do 6 during my show when I'm playing live, but for the Christmas show, I think I do 20, Sal? 20 or 22, something like that. But anyways, so just start sending them in. Send in subjects, and you tell me. It doesn't have to be about 2020, but it's fun if it is. All right. In the meantime, I'm going to do a reprise of the 12 Days of Christmas that we came up with about 9 days ago. I've got it right here, and I would like to give a shout out once again to Kathy. I'm talking about her a lot tonight, but she came up with the first part where it's a ride on a Put-in-Bay ferry. So let me get my guitar. So since this is officially part of the 12 Days of Christmas, it's actually from Christmas and 12 days forward until Epiphany, I believe. So this is just a review while you guys are sending in subjects. I'll go through it kind of quick because this is kind of long. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a ride on a Put-in-Bay ferry. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 Viking horns and a ride on a Put-in-Bay ferry. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 dogs a-peeing, 2 Viking horns, and a ride on a Put-in-Bay ferry. On the fourth day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 Annie Muck-Mucks, 3 dogs peeing, 2 Viking horns, and a ride on a Put-in-Bay ferry. I'm going to change this chord right as I'm doing this. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 spotted cows. I would like to apologize for something I did during the Christmas show. The 5 spotted cows was one of the actually things that people sent in, and I sang it, 5 spotted cows, and I thought they were talking about cows in Wisconsin, and it was indeed something from Wisconsin, but it was from my niece's husband, And he reminded me that Spotted Cow is a beer in New Glarus, Wisconsin. So that made perfect sense then, because it's 5 foaming beers, 5 Spotted Cows, and it's a good beer. 4 Annie Muckmucks, 3 dogs peeing, 2 Viking horns, and a ride on a Put-in-Bay ferry. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 ground round burgers, 5 Spotted Cows, 4 Annie Muckmucks, 3 dogs peeing, 2 Viking horns, and a ride on a Put-in. It's hard to sing this one fast. My wife loves to dance. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 Sally waltzing, 6 ground brown round burgers, 5 Spotted Cows, 4 Annie Muckmucks, 3 dogs peeing, 2 Viking horns, and a ride on a Put-in-Bay ferry. Have we got a lot of subjects out? We got pretty many? Okay. I tell you what, I'm going to go right to 12 so we can get going. 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 Packer wins, 11 Gators pulling, 10 Sven's a leaping, 9 Studley bald guys, 8 banjo strumming, 7 Sally's waltzing, 6 ground round burgers, 5 Spotted Cows, 4 Annie Muckmucks, 3 dogs peeing, 2 Viking horns, and a ride on a Put-in-Bay ferry. All right, that's a little reprise from the Christmas thing. Sally's still writing. Just one quick thing, by the way. I once again, I want to thank you guys for the Christmas show. If anybody, these kind of things, a lot of us entertainers are doing New Year's shows and living room shows. We're not going out and doing shows. They got us shut down out here. So one way you guys can help is, this is my email address, picklehead@picklehead.com. And you guys can send tips through PayPal or also through Facebook Pay. That's another one. And Venmo. We can do all 3 of those. Or sometimes people just want to send a check. And if you need an address, send me an email and I'll get that to you. So anyhow, it was just really appreciated. The Christmas show, you guys are more generous than you guys have ever been in at Christmas time. That was really great on a month that I'm not doing any gigs. So thank you for that, guys. That's about all I'll say about that. But if you feel so led, go ahead and send those in, and I will send you a thank you for sure. Okay, what you got for me over there? How many we got this time? Not so many. Good. I think we got a bad. I don't know if it's a bad chord. We're having trouble with chords tonight. Let's do this. Hold on a minute. Let's try if we can get these things going again, because this one we won't have that chord issue. See, it's on the channel 3. Come on, baby. There we go. There we go. Now I figured it out. Talk among yourselves for a minute. Okay, so I'm not sure. I'm going to have to take that sheet out and see how many we have. I think it was 24 was a record last one. And my brain just about melted down. Sally said she saw smoke coming out of my ears. You've never seen me do this. I just make up a song on the spot. All right, so let me tell you what our subjects are. VW Rabbit. I had like 3 of them. Used to get 50 miles a gallon. I did 50,000 miles a year. Toilet paper, masks, 6 feet apart. Dr. Fauci, facing frolics. Do you know what that is? We don't know what it is, but I'll come up with something. Facing frolics, remote learning, the CDC, no mask or whatever. Dr. Faux, like faux doctor, like F-A-U-X, okay? Remember wanting vacation to last forever. Okay, well, let's see. I think this needs to be a country song right here. Here we go. I was driving in my VW Rabbit, going on a caper. And I realized with sickening horror I was out of toilet paper. I went to Walmart, went out to Walmart, but I couldn't get that toilet paper because I was 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart. 6 feet apart. I couldn't reach the paper from far apart. Well, I tried to be happy and I tried to smile. Then I saw Dr. Fauci in the very same aisle. He was facing frolics. Let's remote learn. When he took all the toilet paper, I said, give me a turn. We were 6 feet apart. Well, that was the moment when the trouble starts. And you know, I punched that guy and he punched me. We had a fight and a wrestled all the way to the CDC. It's actually holding together here. Well, then he told me to wear a mask, and then he said, never mind. And then he told me to wear a mask or for whatever, one more time. And you know, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. So instead of Dr. Fauci, I called him Dr. Foe. 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart. Me and Fauci stayed 6 feet apart, 6 feet apart. Oh, wait, I'm doing it. And you know, I gotta finish the song, and now I will endeavor. Remember when you said you wished vacations would last forever? There we go. That one went pretty smooth. How many was that one? I should put all these on an album sometime. Okay, there was a couple of songs that I wanted to make sure I got to. We've got, holy cow, 19 minutes till New Year's. This is one everybody always asks for on these shows, so I'm going to do it right now. This one's for my lovely lady who's sitting here. New Year's Eve, I wrote this for a long time ago. Sven's going to play the guitar. Here we go, Sven. I got a woman, some kind of girl. She's there smiling when I'm lost to the world. She's running and holds out her hand, and it feels like heaven right where we stand. Someday I'll write a song to dance to, a one to make clap your hands. Right now I'll write of what's on my mind. Here's a pretty song for a pretty lady. She sits me down beside her. My spirits run dry. Chases my problems with a wink of her eye. And oh, what a comfort to look in those eyes and feel all that music well up inside. Someday I'll write a song to dance to, a one to make you clap your hands. Right now I'll write of what's on my mind. Here's a pretty song for a pretty lady. This last verse is as true now as it was 35 years ago. Sometimes it's funny, the moods I get in. Sometimes I lose out before I begin. But let there be bad times, let the world take its toll. She is my living, my heart and my soul. Someday I'll write a song to dance to, one to make you clap your hands. Right now I'll write of what's on my mind. Here's a pretty song for a pretty lady. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Did it did it did it. Did it did it did it did it do do. Did it did it do do. Did it did it did it did it did it did it do do. It's for my lovely wife of 45 years. We just had a anniversary in the end of November. All right, well, I hate to follow that song with a trashy song, but, you know, several people have asked for the cockroach song. This was written by a Chicago folkie back when I was first starting out. His name was Harry Waller. I don't know if Harry's around. I should look around and see if he's still playing somewhere. But he wrote this song. He was a very talented guy. And I used to do this one all the time in Chicago. So this is the cockroach song. And we used to have I still do that once in a while when I come to Chicago, when we play over at the banquet room at the Elks Lodge and Des Plaines, and people will do the zzz, and it's pretty cool to hear like 250 people going zzz. So if you want to do that tonight, it's New Year's Eve. Here we go. Now that it's cold with winds outside, they need a warm new place to hide. Inside your walls, under the floor, the cabinet, behind the door. They get a drink inside your sink. They have a laugh around the bath. And when you go and turn your back, they like to sneak a little snack. Black flag, decon, door spray, fumigators by the score. Swat them, stamp them, hammer them with raid. They come back for more. In the darkest hours, just before the dawn, you can hear them singing some old love song. They wipe their feet on your lunch meat. They dip their hands into your cans. They take your snacks into their laps, and then they dine upon your wine. Everybody! Bzz, 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 Black flag, decon, indoor spray, fumigators by the score. Swat them, stamp them, hammer them with raid. They come back for more. In the darkest hours, just before the dawn, you can hear them singing some old love song. On your kitchen table, there's a party going on. So when you get home late tonight, open your door, turn on your light, then you will see your wallpaper change. Those are cockroaches on parade. Bzz, bzz, Now that is classy music on New Year's Eve. You know, that's why I'm wearing a suit and tie, so I can do classical, classy pieces like that. Okay, let's see what we got here. See if there's anything else I really got to get to. Oh, we did that one. We did that one. Okay, well, we did. Oh, this one's coming up. Okay, right before we got one that we're going to do with the 12 string right before for the big New Year's. We got 12 minutes to go. It's starting to count down. If I was playing in a club, they'd be passing out the champagne glasses right now. I'd be hearing the noisemakers going. But I'm going to do a nice thing right over here. And there is somebody asked for Simon and Garfunkel. In the middle of this little thing there, right at the end of this thing, is a Simon and Garfunkel, little bit of their song. And at the end of this thing, I'm going to do the first version of Auld Lang Syne, but we're all going to sing it all together right at midnight Eastern time. But I thought this song would be appropriate to dig out from a long, long time ago. It's an old Joni Mitchell. Friends from those days. Linda Cole used to always come up and sing with me. She's living in Wisconsin now. Still in touch with her. I know she watches tonight, I hope. And I'll be hearing her harmony in my head because she would come up and we would do the song together. It's a song about how to go round and round. And now we're at the end of another one, even though it's a challenging year. It's another year. And as you get older, they just go faster and faster. That's kind of what scares me. But my oldest grandchild is now 14, and he's got hair on his legs, which really scares me. They're just terrific. We had the greatest grandkids. We had them all together for Christmas, all 9 of them, and so we had a wonderful time. But it is just crazy how quick they grow, and even our little number 9, our 9th grandchild. By the way, my daughter said she was going to bed, so I guess I missed her to talk about Lucia. They were here for a week, and of course we got up at like 6 o'clock every day because she would wake us up and so we could get up and see her. So we're on an early schedule. I took a nap today. My wife hasn't, so hopefully she's hanging in there. So this one's called The Circle Game with a couple other things added at the end there. Yesterday, a child came out to wonder, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle game. When the child moved 10 times round the season, skated over 10 clear frozen streams. Words like, when you're older, must appease him, and promises of someday make his dream. And the seasons, they go round and around, and the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle game. 16 springs and 16 summers gone now. Cartwheels turn to car wheels through the town, and they tell him, take your time, it won't be long now, till you drag your feet to slow those circles down. And the seasons, they go round and round, the painted ponies go up and down. We're captive on a carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in a circle game. And go round and round and round in a circle game. Here's that Simon & Garfunkel thing that fits right here. Time it was, and what a time it was, it was. A time of innocence, a time of confidences. Long ago it must be, I have a photograph. Preserve your memories, they're all that's left you. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot in days of auld lang syne? For auld lang syne, my dear, for auld lang syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for auld lang syne. And my wife's going to pour the champagne. We're all going to sing this together in a minute. I was talking about Scotland because that's where this song comes from. And of course, I've played over there several times. The island of Millport and the island of Cumbrae on the Clyde River near Glasgow. And we went upstairs one time. There was a wedding, and of course, at all their weddings in Scotland, they all gather around the bride and groom and sing this song. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot for sake of auld lang syne? Okay, that is my lovely wife, by the way, in the picture. She's very shy. Come show them your t-shirt that I got you for Christmas. This is her t-shirt. It says, first it says, I love my husband, but then when you read it close, it says, I love it when my husband lets me buy fabric. We're going to toast in a minute here. Real quickly, I was like, what am I going to sing at the end of 2020 for the last song of the year? Because I did a lot of shows this year, really, especially this summer. I did 40 shows in like 45 days, something like that. So we had a really good summer. But I'd like to say really quickly, take this year and shove it. We're living here no more. They came and took all of my gigs and I got really bored. One of these days I'm gonna blow my top and that Fauci, he's gonna pay. Take this job year and shove it. We ain't living here no more. So it looks like my clock says 9:58. So we're going to do a little countdown. Sally, you want to say hi to anybody or anything? You want to say hello? Okay, just say something.
Just hi, everybody.
And show them what you got on your hair. That's kind of cool. It's like a little hairdress little thing right there. And of course, this is the woman that's put up with me all these years. We're not even Catholic, but when she dies, she's going to be a saint, Saint Sally, one of my Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. Not one of my Mount Horeb, Wisconsin girls. It's my Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. Lovely girl. Met her in college, and forget it. I asked her to dance. I was serving beer. I was on a fraternity, and they had these keggers, and I signed up to serve beer for like an hour. It was a great deal. They would bus you from the campus in Kenosha to like a hall with the cinder blocks and stuff, and it cost like $5 to get in. You had all the beer playing, so it was really cool. So I was volunteering to serve beer, and then she came up, and out of the top of my head, I said, "Oh, you got to dance with me after this. After I'm done with beer, you got to dance." She said, "Sure." So I went and looked for her, and I danced with her, and I danced with her again, and again, and again, and again, and I rode the bus back to campus with her, and I don't remember anything after that. So anyways, and we're still together after all this time with 3 beautiful kids and 9 grandkids, and life is good. And I'm just keeping on talking until we get okay. We're down to. We're going to go Happy New Year, and we're going to toast, drink some champagne, and I'm going to kiss my wife. And if you're with somebody that you want to kiss, hope they want to kiss you too, and kiss each other, and then we'll sing Auld Lang Syne together, and then we'll do a couple of songs to kind of take her out. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year, everybody! 2021, thank God 2020 is over. It's still kind of fizzy from that spoon in there, so it worked. Okay, give me a kiss, dear. Probably the first time I kissed my wife in front of this many people from as far away. All right, let's do Auld Lang Syne together. Stand up, rock back and forth, put your arms. See, I want you to come stay up here. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. Sing it with me. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. Let's see if we can kick it up even higher key. Just to show, I used to sing it in this key back when I first started, and I think I can still hit it. For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for Auld Lang Syne. Happy New Year! Thank you, sweetie. All right, let's do a couple of more songs and then we'll get out of here. Let you all party. You know, I think we lost Ray and Liz a long time ago. I have my hockey buddy because they were making out before, so I'm sure. Well, anyways, if they're still there. And one quick chorus of that song I did, the first song tonight, if you're here. 2020 is finally over, finally over, finally over. 2020 is finally over, all over this world, all over this world, all over this world. 2020 is finally over, all over this world. All right, so let's do this one. I'm going to get the 12 string out. I just put new strings on that today, so they're stretching a little bit, but I think they're probably still okay. We'll find out in a minute. Well, I hope you guys had a lot of fun tonight, especially a lot of us had to stay home when normally we wouldn't have stayed home. But I hope we made it kind of special for you guys. I know you guys made it special for me. More special if I can find my pickup. There it is. Make sure it's tuned. Hate to have the full song of 2021 out of tune. So we're hoping we get back to stuff we love to do. Hope we get back to live shows sooner than later. Hoping to get back to my hockey games. I've got my home rink. We have our tournaments and stuff here, and I have buddies come up and play. But I want to get back with my Picklehead team and my Old Guys League team. And we were having a great season before they shut us down. So they promised that we're coming back. So we'll see. In the meantime, this is a good New Year's Eve song. Even after all these living room shows, I've never done this one before either. Here for you guys. Once upon a time, there was a tavern where we used to raise a glass or two. Raise the glasses out there. Happy New Year, everybody! Remember how we laughed away the hours. Think of all the great things we would do. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We we'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we choose, we'd fight and never lose. We were young and short to have our way. Lie, 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 la la lie, la lie, la la lie, la 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 lie, la 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 lie, la lie, la 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 lie, la lie, la 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 lie, la 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 lie. Now, when people have been drinking on New Year's Eve, I got to go over the words in case you got confused. It goes like this: la 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 la, and then la la la, and then la 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 la. Ready? La 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 la. Then the busy years went rushing by us. We lost our starry notions on the way. Uh-oh. Every night I'd see you in the tavern. I can tune, it's my show. We'd smile at one another and we'd say, those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we choose, we'd fight and never lose. Those were the days, oh yes, those were the days. Lie, 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 Suddenly I heard familiar laughter. I saw your face and I heard you call my name. Wayne! Oh, my friend, we're older, but no wiser, but wiser. 'Cause in our hearts, our dreams are still the same. Those were the days, my friend, we thought they'd never end. We'd sing and dance forever and a day. We'd live the life we choose, we'd fight and never lose. Those were the days, oh yes, those were the days. Lie, 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 la la lie, la lie, la la lie, la 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 lie, la la lie, la lie. All right, let's sing it like Russians now. Back in the UFFR, the Union of Fewer and Fewer Republics. Sing it. Clap your hands now. Those are the days. Oh, yes, those were the days. Nostrovia, Babushka, Moscow, Leningrad. That's all I know of Russian. Okay, so one more song. We're going to do one more for you and leave you to 2021. By the way, I don't know if I guess we probably might keep doing these things if I don't have any gigs. I'm actually going down to Arizona to do a gig third week of January, but so far Colorado's still closed. So who knows? Maybe I'll do one of these again in a couple of weeks. If you'd like that, just send me a comment because I did them every week in the spring when things were shut down. So you never know. As long as you guys keep, like I say with the Chicago show, you guys keep coming, I'll keep doing it. We're going to finish with a banjo song. Thanks. Finish with a banjo song. This is an old time song. We finished with this one a lot of other times. This is the one we always finish with at the Buck Snort. And everybody gets up around that cute little, cool little mountain bar, makes a big circle, puts their arms around each other. Had some great times there. Oh, man. La, 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 la. Well, I got to say, I was going to take my tie off and, wrap up my sleeves, roll up my sleeves. But this is a whole. I should be complimented for doing an entire show with a suit and tie. I'll take it off. Probably be a couple of years before I do that again. No, it was great fun. Wish I had fireworks to light up for you in the house here, but we just did a remodel about a year ago, so we probably don't really want to do that. So, and once again, like I said, if you feel so inclined, my PayPal is picklehead@picklehead.com. And thanks so much if you wanted to send something. Okay, so Happy New Year, everybody. Let's close with this one. Oh, wait, that's Sven playing right there. In fact, I'm going to show you. I got some water here. Just I'm really drinking and singing at the same time. Watch this. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a bitter hum awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Well, I was standing by my window on one cold and cloudy day when I saw that hearse come rolling for to carry my mother away. Help me sing it. Will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a bitter hum awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. We got people from all over. Somebody says they're still watching from Arizona, from Phoenix. That's where my daughter lives. Well, I will walk right beside her, try to hold her hand, be brave. I could not hide my sorrow when they laid her in the grave. Sing it, will the circle be unbroken by and by, Lord, by and by? There's a bitter hum awaiting in the sky, Lord, in the sky. Swing low, sweet chariot, coming for to carry me home. Swing low, swing low.